You sure you want to do this? My sister asked. I laughed and said, she's gonna say yes. I was wrong. So F asterisk asterisk king wrong. A year ago, if you'd told me my life would flip upside down because of a damn engagement ring, I would have laughed in your face. I was 29, had a stable tech job in Seattle, an amazing apartment with a lake view, and a girlfriend I truly thought I'd grow old with. Avery and I had been together for 4 years. 4 freaking years. And not the on and off kind. I'm talking holidays with each other's families, cooking Sunday dinners, talking baby names on the couch. The whole maybe this is it package. We met at a startup mixer. I was demoing a glitchy app prototype and she spilled wine on my hoodie. We laughed, exchanged numbers, and that was that. At first, it was effortless. She was witty sharp, had this confident energy that lit up rooms. She worked in PR, polished social way, more extroverted than me, but somehow it worked. Her parents adored me, especially her mom. My family loved her. Hell, my dog loved her. So when we started talking marriage in year 3, it didn't feel like pressure. It felt natural, mutual. She'd send me TikToks of wedding venues and baby nurseries. We even made a shared Pinterest board. So yeah, when I started saving up for a ring 6 months ago, it didn't feel like a leap. It felt overdue. And trust me, I didn't half-ass the plan. I booked this mountain lodge in Oregon wood cabins, string lights dinner on a private patio overlooking a lake. It was like if Pinterest and rom-coms had a baby. She loved nature. She loved quiet. It felt right. Everything was set. Last weekend, the night, dinner went smooth. She wore this navy sweater. I loved the one with the tiny tear in the sleeve she always tried to hide. We had wine steak laughter. I talked about when we first met. She joked about how I'd been a tech dork who couldn't make eye contact. I smiled. She was glowing. I pulled the ring from my pocket. My hands were sweating, my heart was in my throat. I got on one knee, said all the things I meant, that I couldn't imagine life without her, that I'd never been more sure of anything. She froze. I kid you not. No smile, no tears, just a blank stare. Then she says, "Can we maybe wait a few more months?" What? I swear my ears stopped working. I just blinked. She kept talking, rambling something about timing, mental space. Not a no, just not a now. Bro, what does that even mean? I nodded, smiled, said okay, but inside something cracked. The next morning was hell. We drove home in silence. She held my hand like nothing had happened. Kept saying sorry, kept saying she loved me. It made me nauseous. I didn't want to talk, didn't want to think. Just needed space to figure out WTF had just happened. Back home, I told my sister Olivia because she's blunt as hell and doesn't sugarcoat. She listened quietly, then dropped a bomb. You know, that's classic girl code stalling, right? She's probably talking to someone else. I laughed, out loud. Because Avery, no way. She's loyal, thoughtful, nah. But then, Olivia said something that stuck. When a woman talks about marriage for years and suddenly says she's unsure, it's not about the ring. It's about what else is on the table. My stomach dropped. I didn't want to believe it, but little things started standing out. Late night texts. Her suddenly being too tired to hang out after work. A new guy on her team she mentioned more than once, Zach, I think. I brushed it off. Told myself I was paranoid. But the doubts were there. And once they creep in, they don't leave. They sit on your chest at 2 a.m. whispering, check her phone. I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I tried to be patient. Gave her space. Acted like everything was okay, but I started detaching. I couldn't help it. My laughs were shorter, my texts colder. I didn't plan it, it just happened. One night she asked me if I was mad. I shrugged, said I was fine. I just need a little more time, Mikey. I love you, she whispered. I didn't reply, just turned over in bed and stared at the wall. Fast forward to this week. We're sitting on the couch. She's on her phone giggling at something. I ask, who are you texting? She says, just a work group chat. I nod, but I know. I know. The look on her face when I asked was too fast, too flustered. And something in me snapped. Not rage, not jealousy. Just this cold, quiet clarity. I'm not your backup plan, I said. She blinked. What? I'm not the guy you come home to while you figure out if someone else will leave their wife for you. That's when she went pale. She just sat there looking at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. What do you mean, leave their wife? What are you even talking about? She said, all defensive and wide-eyed like I'd accused her of murder. I leaned back, arms crossed, trying to stay calm. Zach, your coworker. The one you've been texting late at night, laughing with, acting sketchy about. Her mouth opened, closed, then opened again. You're being ridiculous. Oh, am I said. Because when I proposed, you needed more time. But not when you're hanging out with Zach and texting him memes at midnight. She crossed her arms now too. You went through my phone. I hadn't yet. But her saying that, yeah, that was confirmation. I shook my head. Didn't have to, you just told on yourself. She stood up and started pacing. Classic Avery deflection mode. You don't understand. He's just a friend. I've known him like 2 months. We work together. That's it. I let her ramble. Because I wasn't about to argue with someone who already knew the truth and was just trying to talk me out of seeing it. Then she said it, the dumbest, most revealing thing she could have said. He's going through a rough time with his wife. He vents to me a lot. That's all it is. Jesus Christ. My brain stopped for a second. I looked at her like she had antlers. You're comforting a married coworker who's going through stuff while rejecting your own fiance's proposal, I asked. And that makes sense to you. She sat down on the edge of the couch, hands in her lap like a schoolgirl in trouble. I didn't mean for it to happen. I don't know. I was confused. He was easy to talk to. Things between us got kind of blurry. Blurry. No, you either stay inside the lines or you don't. Ain't no such thing as accidentally catching feelings for a married coworker while you're in a committed relationship. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stared at her. And I think that made it worse. She kept going like if she could just explain it well enough, maybe I'd forgive her. I didn't cheat. Okay, not physically. We just talked a lot. And yeah, maybe I started feeling things, but I never acted on them. You did, I said, calm as hell. You just didn't take your clothes off. Silence. She didn't deny it. Just buried her face in her hands and started crying. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. Too late. I stood up, walked into the bedroom, closed the door. Not slamming it, just shut it gently like I was turning the page on a chapter I never wanted to read again. And for a while, I just sat there, on the edge of my bed, breathing. Because I realized something in that moment. This wasn't about Zach. It wasn't even really about the proposal. It was about the fact that I had been all in and she had been halfway out for months without telling me. While I was out here planning forever, she was weighing her options, waiting to see which man would give her the better feeling. F***K that? The next day, I did what any man with a spine and self-respect left would do. I asked her to leave. At first, she thought I meant just for the day, like space. I told her, no, I meant leave. As in, pack your shit and go. She started begging. Said she could end it with Zach. Said she already had. That it was stupid. That she didn't want to lose me. That she didn't realize what she had until she felt like it was slipping. And look, I'd be lying if I said part of me didn't want to believe her. That old soft part of me that remembered our movie nights and the first time she said I love you. That part wanted to say, okay, we can fix this. But the rest of me. The part that had spent 6 months imagining our future while she was letting some married dude play therapist with her heart. That part was done. You made your choice the moment you kept me on hold while you played emotional roulette with someone else, I told her. She didn't take it well. She went full meltdown, crying, throwing out desperate half reasons, bringing up old memories, asking if this was really worth losing 4 years over. I told her I wasn't the one who lost anything. I gained clarity. That night she left. A friend came to pick her up. She took 2 suitcases and a shoebox of random junk. I didn't help her carry it, just opened the door, nodded, and watched her walk out of my life. The second the door clicked shut, I locked it and just exhaled. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat down on the floor of my living room and stared at nothing for like 20 minutes. Numb. Not because I didn't feel anything, but because I felt too much at once. Anger, shame, relief, heartbreak, all jumbled together in one giant WTF-flavored smoothie. You ever get hit so hard emotionally that your body feels sore like you just finished a workout? Yeah, that was me. The next morning, I deleted our photos off my phone. Blocked her on everything. Instagram, Spotify, Apple ID. I even changed the damn Netflix password. I wasn't trying to be petty. I just didn't want reminders of a version of her that never really existed. Then I called Olivia. Told her everything. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, "I'm proud of you. I know that probably feels like shit right now, but you choosing yourself, that's huge." And it was. Because for so long, I kept adjusting my life around someone else's emotional weather. Not anymore. The weird part is the quiet after, it didn't feel empty. It felt clean. And in that silence, something clicked. Something I hadn't let myself feel in years. I wasn't grieving the relationship. I was grieving the version of myself who accepted so little just to feel chosen. 3 days later, she texted me. Blocked number, but she used someone else's phone. Just said, "I'm sorry, IF asterisk asterisk head up, can we talk?" Nope. I didn't even open the message. I just recognized the number swiped left and blocked that one too. I wasn't doing that whole let's meet and talk like adults thing. We weren't adults when she decided to emotionally two-time me. We weren't adults when she asked for more time while texting another man late at night. So she could sit in that mess alone. I didn't need closure. I already got mine when she walked out of the door and the weight lifted off my chest. Still, the updates came through mutual friends. Old coworkers, even her cousin hit me up saying, "Dude, she's spiraling." Apparently that other guy, Zach. Yeah, he wasn't exactly who she thought he was. Married, yes. Still married also, yes. But also, he never had any plans to leave his wife. Not for her. Not for anyone. She was just the side character in his stressed husband act. A week after she moved out, she found out he was still going home to his wife every night and telling her he was working late. Same line he probably used on Avery. Ironic, huh? And when she confronted him, guess what he did? Blocked her. Straight up ghosted. Didn't even give her the fake closure speech. Now she was the one being benched. The fallback. The almost. The poetic justice of it all, chef's kiss. But did I gloat? No. Did I smile a little when I heard hell yes? There's something weirdly healing about watching karma show up uninvited with receipts and no mercy. Still, I didn't reach out. Didn't respond when she tried to message me through a friend. Didn't answer when her mom called, yes, her mom. That part was wild. Her mom left a voicemail like, "Michael, I know this is hard for both of you, but she's really hurting. She didn't mean to hurt you. She's learning." And look, I liked her mom. Always did. But I wasn't about to play support system for someone who broke me while chasing a fantasy and ended up getting broken by it. Nope. This was the part where I let her sit in her own wreckage and figure it out alone. Meanwhile, I started getting my shit together. I joined a gym. Not because of some dramatic glow-up revenge arc, I just needed to move. Needed to do something that wasn't sitting on my couch doom-scrolling and overthinking. Turns out throwing weights around is good therapy. Started eating better. Cooking actual food, not just instant ramen and freezer burritos. My sister even got me to try journaling. Which, yeah, I rolled my eyes at, but damn if it didn't help. Some of the stuff I'd written was so brutally honest it almost made me uncomfortable. Like this one entry. Maybe I kept loving her because she felt familiar, not safe, just known. And I confused that with being seen. Yeah, I was unpacking some shit. I also started reconnecting with people I'd sort of drifted from. Friends I hadn't seen in forever because I was always busy being a good partner. Turns out they missed me. They were there, arms wide open, beers in hand, ready to roast me for being gone too long. There's something about sitting at a patio table on a random Thursday night laughing until your stomach hurts that makes you feel like a person again. One night, maybe 2 weeks after the breakup, I ran into this girl at the grocery store. Her name was Ellie. She was buying oat milk and frozen dumplings. I made some dumb joke about people who buy plant-based milk being secretly bougie. She laughed. We ended up talking in the parking lot for an hour. Not flirting, just talking. And you know what hit me? She listened. Not in that distracted nodding while checking her phone kind of way. I mean, really listened. Eye contact, asking questions, smiling for real. I hadn't felt that kind of basic human respect in a long F*** king time. We didn't exchange numbers. I wasn't ready, but I drove home that night thinking, oh, so this is what it's supposed to feel like. Not stress, not second guessing, just peace. Funny how it takes being hurt that deep to even realize how little you were actually receiving before. A few more weeks passed. My apartment looked different. I moved some furniture around, got rid of the ugly Live Laugh Love pillow she bought. God, why did I even let that stay so long? Changed the vibe, made it mine again. Started sleeping better too. Deeper, no weird tension or unexplained cold shoulders. Just sleep. Meanwhile, more fallout on her end. Her friend, the one she stayed with after she left, eventually asked her to leave. Too much drama, too much crying, too many nights sitting on the floor asking, why did I do this, while draining 3 glasses of rosé. From what I heard, she moved back with her parents after that. And apparently her dad was pissed. He liked me. Used to call me son during holidays. Guess hearing what she did didn't sit right with him. Her cousin told me her folks gave her the "you need to grow up" speech, and basically said she had 2 months to get her shit together or find somewhere else to live. She tried to go back to Zach. Bad move. He blocked her again. She tried hitting up a few old flames. No dice. I guess people started catching wind of the drama and didn't want to be part of the circus. So yeah, she ended up pretty alone. And before you say, aren't you being harsh? No, I'm just not pretending anymore. I'm not the guy who says, let's be friends. I'm not the dude who sacrifices his peace to make sure the person who betrayed him feels okay about it. I gave 4 years. She gave me half of herself, and then asked me to wait while she played around with the idea of someone else. Nah, let her learn. Let her feel that ache when she scrolls through her camera roll and sees photos she can't post anymore because they're attached to someone she doesn't get access to anymore. Let her live with the silence. Because that silence, that's mine now. And it's peaceful as hell. A month after she left, I stopped thinking about her every day. Not entirely. Of course, healing doesn't follow a straight line, but the constant replaying of everything, the what ifs, the could I have stopped it stuff, gone. It started when I opened LinkedIn of all places. Yeah, I know not exactly where you go to get over someone, but I was updating my profile for a project pitch and I noticed she'd viewed my page. Twice. 2 separate times a few days apart. Why? I don't know. Bored, curious, regretful. Either way, I didn't take the bait. Didn't look at hers. Didn't unblock her to message some fake polite hope you're well. Screw that. Let her stew. I was done giving attention to someone who didn't know what to do with it. So I leaned harder into my life. I started writing again, not journaling, but actual writing. Posted a short piece online about betrayal and growth. Raw, simple stuff. It went kind of viral. A few people messaged saying it hit. One guy said it helped him leave a 5-year relationship that was rotting him from the inside. That floored me. I wasn't just healing, I was helping. That realization hit deep. Because for so long, I thought my value was in being steady, dependable. The guy who stayed. I forgot I could also be the guy who left the guy who decided this isn't enough and chose himself. It was like I'd unlocked a cheat code. Every time I said no to things that drained me, I got a little bit stronger. People noticed too. Friends started calling me more. One of them said, "You seem lighter." I didn't realize how heavy I'd been carrying shit until I dropped it. Then came the unexpected twist. I was at a coffee shop, usual spot, headphones on, editing some work. I look up, and there she is, Avery. Wearing a coat too big for her, no makeup, hair in a messy bun. Not the polished PR queen I remembered. She looked tired. We made eye contact. I could have looked away, pretended I didn't see her, but I didn't. I gave her a nod. Not cold, not warm, just, I see you, but I'm good. She walked over. "Hey," she said softly. I pulled off my headphones. "Hey." Silence. She kept fiddling with the strap on her bag. "You look good," she said. I gave a polite smile. "Thanks." More silence. Then, "Can I sit?" I didn't want to. Every bone in my body said, don't do this. But something told me I needed to let it happen. Not for her, for me. "Sure," I said. She sat. Ordered nothing. Just sat across from me at that tiny wooden table like it was 2019 again, and we were still us. "I'm not going to take up too much of your time," she started. I owe you an apology." I raised an eyebrow. "A little late, don't you think?" She winced. "I know, I couldn't face you. I was ashamed." "You should be," I said, calm, not cruel, just facts. She nodded slowly. "I know, I don't expect anything. I just wanted you to know that I'm not proud of what I did. You were the best thing in my life, and I threw it away. For nothing." I stayed quiet. She kept talking. "That guy, Zach, he ghosted me. I thought we had this connection, but I was just something he used to feel better about his own mess. I don't even think he ever saw me as anything more than a distraction. I leaned back in my chair. You know what hurts most? Not that you had doubts. Not even that you caught feelings for someone else. It's that you couldn't be honest with me. You could have said, I'm scared, I'm confused, I need to figure myself out. But you didn't. You kept me in the dark. You made me feel like I was crazy for sensing something was off. She looked down. You're right, I was a coward. I nodded. Yeah, you were. Her eyes welled up, but I didn't flinch. I wasn't here to comfort her. I wasn't her safety net anymore. I miss you, she said. I don't miss who I was when I was with you, I replied. That version of me he kept shrinking so you could feel big. She cried then, not loud, just silent tears rolling down her cheeks. I sipped my coffee. You seem stronger, she said. Different. I am. She reached into her coat and pulled something out the ring. I kept it, she said. I don't want it anymore. She slid it across the table. I didn't touch it. You keep it, I said. Let it remind you what you lost. She looked wrecked. I hope you find someone who deserves you, she said quietly. I already did, I answered. Me. That broke her. She got up, wiped her face, didn't say another word, just walked out. I stared at the ring. Let it sit there for a minute. Then I picked it up, walked to the counter, and handed it to the barista. Want to make rent this month, I joked. They laughed. Is this real? Yup, pawn it, split it, burn it, I don't care. And I walked out. I didn't look back. That night I slept like a rock. Not because I finally got closure. Not because I'd forgiven her. But because I'd reclaimed the part of myself that used to beg to be chosen. I chose me. Not the version who was enough if he just tried harder. Not the quiet guy who waited for someone else to feel ready. The man who stands in his own truth, owns his flaws, and refuses to be anyone's king backup plan. That's revenge. Not slashing tires or getting even. It's rebuilding. It's thriving. It's living well and never needing to explain why you walked away from someone who only loved you in fractions. And now I'm just getting started. I didn't hear from her after that, which was a relief and a little sad, I won't lie. Not because I missed her. That part was dead, but because it really confirmed that everything we had was gone. The chapter wasn't just over, the book was shelved, dusty, maybe burned. But here's the thing about finally choosing yourself, everything starts to look different. You stop asking for signs. You start making moves. I moved apartments. Not because I had to, the old place was fine, but it still felt like it had too much of her in the walls. Her perfume in the closet. Her weird mug in the cabinet that said CEO of Drama, ironically extremely accurate. So I signed a lease across town. Nothing fancy, but it had light, big windows, no memories attached. Blank slate. I got a new couch. Gray, firm. Adult as hell. Started hanging more art. Not stuff we picked together, just things I liked. Things that made me feel like me. Even got a dog. Big mutt with one floppy ear. Named him Chance because, yeah, new chances, second chances, whatever. It felt poetic. And life was good. I wasn't chasing some wild revenge bod or dating 10 people to feel something again. I was just living. Peacefully. Until she messaged me. Yep, out of nowhere. A random Tuesday night. I was watching some dumb cooking competition show. Chance was snoring next to me, and my phone buzzed. Avery. New number. I stared at the screen for a good minute before opening it. I know I said goodbye. I just saw your story. I'm glad you're doing well. You seem happy. I miss talking to you. Ooh. I didn't even feel tempted. I just stared at the message like it was a ghost showing up at my door holding flowers and pretending we hadn't buried it. I didn't respond. 3 days later, she sent another. I still think about us. I think I finally understand what I lost. You were good to me in ways I didn't even realize at the time. That one pissed me off a little. Because, yeah, no shit, I was good to you. I didn't half love you. I didn't treat you like a temporary fix. I was solid. I was present. I was all in. She only saw that clearly once the option disappeared. Too late. I didn't answer that one either. But I'll be honest, it stirred something. Not because I missed her. Not even because I wanted to reply. But because I started thinking about how many people do this. They fumble something real, get burned by what they thought was better, and then circle back like your life is a goddamn carousel. No thanks. I'd stepped off that ride. Instead, I texted Olivia, my sister. Guess who popped up again, I wrote. She didn't even need a name. Block her. Don't give her another window to crawl through. You're doing too good now. She wasn't wrong. So I blocked the number. Again. And this time, I didn't do it out of anger. I did it with peace, with clarity. Because here's what I'd figured out by then: letting someone back in just because they finally realized your worth is like lending money to someone who only calls you when they're broke. Value yourself more than that. The same week, I got offered a new job, bigger role, more pay. It would mean traveling a bit, running a team, mentoring younger creatives. It was the kind of opportunity I used to dream about but would have turned down before because it didn't fit our timeline. Now, I said yes without blinking. Told them I could start in 2 weeks. And then I took the rest of that week off just to do nothing but exist. Beach, books, real food, long-ass walks with Chance where we didn't care about time. It was bliss. One morning, I was at this tiny cafe by the coast just sipping a latte, headphones on, writing, and I glanced up and saw this couple at the table across from me. They were laughing, like really laughing over nothing. And I smiled. Not because I missed that, but because I finally knew I'd have that again. Someday. With someone real. Someone who didn't hesitate. Someone who didn't need to figure it out while keeping another option warm in the meantime. And until then, I was good. Genuinely good. Like waking up happy kind of good. A week later, I met someone. Not on purpose, not on a dating app, just life being funny. She was running a pop-up bookstore downtown. Her name was Carmen. She made fun of my beat-up sneakers and asked if I was a tortured poet or just bad at replacing shoes. I laughed. We talked. She wasn't trying to be impressive. She was just her. Warm, honest, quick-witted. Sharp as hell. She had this little scar near her eyebrow she said came from chasing a goose as a kid. I believed her. We didn't jump into anything heavy. Just slow walks, easy laughs, no games. It felt clean. No baggage, no timelines, no hidden subplots. Just two people seeing each other for real. And I thought, yeah, this is what I was holding out for. This is why I said no to the recycled half-assed apologies. Why I blocked the I miss yous. Why I didn't settle for someone who only loved me when it was convenient. Because I deserved this, the real, the quiet, the solid. It wasn't some fairy tale ending. No fireworks or dramatic music. Just peace. And honestly, that's better than any revenge. Because revenge fades. But peace sticks.